Trivia's Inspirational Radio would like to inform you that the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in the following show are solely the sentiments of the participants of the show. Trivia's Inspirational Radio Network is not responsible for content. As always, thanks for watching and enjoy the show.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Queen Jaya, Lynn, and Champ In. So if you are wondering where I was last week, we were on the road from Illinois, and you will hear all about that. We had our national royalty photo shoot in Illinois. So it was very fun. It was a great experience, and I miss all of my sister queens. So I loved it. Today's show is going to be a little bit shorter, and I apologize for that. Technical difficulties on my side. But as you can see, we got it to work. It's working for us. Thank God. So, I did want to start off by acknowledging this week in general. Whether you were happy about the results of the election, whether you were numb by the results, disappointed, all the emotions, it is okay to feel them. I've definitely gone through my roller coaster this week, and I know it's not over, but I had other things that I needed to worry about. So, of course, for me, I had to push it to the back burner. But I'm definitely going to take my time that I need. And this is just a reminder to take the time that you need this week. Everybody's reactions aren't going to be the same. Some people don't understand why your reactions are the way that they are. And it might be too early to want to understand somebody's reasoning. But when you feel like the time is right, and if they are sharing who they voted for, their political beliefs, hear them out. It's perfectly fine to share your knowledge, but it shouldn't be a fight. One thing that I have been reminded of multiple times this week is that we've all grown up in different backgrounds. Even if you are related, a sibling of someone, your experience growing up or getting to where you are now is not the same as that next person's. So even in the understanding of everything this week, and, smile to keep from crying or laugh to keep from crying, and I've definitely done a lot of laughing, but we had to we have to remember that at the time someone's choices were reflecting on something else, or even the fact that the way they were brought up reflected on their choices. And like I said, I've been reminded of that multiple times this week. So I have been using this time to understand other people's point of views. It's been hard, to say the least. It's definitely been hard, but it's been going in the sense of I feel like, and if I'm wrong, I am wrong, but I don't know because it hasn't been brought up to me if my point of view made someone feel bad. And I know a lot of people are like, well, it doesn't matter right now because I feel bad. But that's not the way I think. Yes, sometimes you need your little moment to cool off. I needed my moment to cool off. But I also knew that there were people who were on the opposite side who are not, and scared is not the word, but have unreadiness for other reasons. how people look at them, because I know that some people lost a lot of followers or friends uh, with the election. And it wasn't really, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but it wasn't really the person that they were losing. It was how they reacted to things throughout the night. That's kind of where I was. But also, I tend to not follow people who, and this is going to come off so wrong, and I'll explain after, but I tend to not follow, or at least on my socials, people who do not help me grow, or in a sense, we have the same ideas of growth. And again, this is where that comes off completely wrong, but it's kind of like finding your circle. I can have everybody that I've grown up with on my social media, but I couldn't and I wouldn't, because one, my Instagram specifically, I don't really use Facebook, sorry, is a safe haven. It's where I'm able to share encouraging words, share scriptures, share how I'm feeling. And sometimes there is some insecurity in posting, but that's with everything. But what I don't want is posting or reposting something that I truly believe could help somebody else and get the negative comments, or the why would you send that, or things that shouldn't make you feel good. That was a lot. But all of that to say, we all have different point of views. We just have to figure out how our different point of views make us who we are as a team. This is not the time to be divided. This is the time to build each other up together. And I'm going to continue to do my part in sharing, encouraging. Recently, today's Sunday, Friday, where I work, we do a service project, or multiple service projects in a day, for our spring and fall semesters. And this semester, I helped with creating and designing cards for veterans that are going to be going with their Meals on Wheels together, because I don't remember how many people uh, was in that group specifically. We created and made 150 cards. So I was very excited to be a part of that. And if you don't know, my platform for my National Christian Miss title is called Champion, which goes hand in hand with uh, this show. Champion is about sharing encouragement with people, reminding them that they are champions within themselves, and we can continue to pour out into each other, but we have to be putting something in ourselves. And I understand I have a job where sometimes it is very, very demanding, but it can also be very rewarding. And the demanding part overshadows the rewarding. So I know that I'm not the only person in my career field, or any other fields, or even students, or people in general. You feel like you're giving so much and nothing is being shown for it. I'm here to remind you that you are an amazing person. What you did today helped somebody and you don't even know it. The impacts that are not shown are usually the ones that have the most impact. We like to talk about the lollipop concept in Res Life and housing, how you made a strong impact on someone's life and you don't even know that you made that impact, but they've held that with them for so long. I had, and I don't think my RA from my first year remembers this, but this is kind of my lollipop moment where I roomed with my best friend in high school. So we didn't really have any problems. The walls were very thin because it was a college campus. So our problems, which we didn't have, weren't with us. It was kind of laughing at the people next to us or coming off the elevator because you could hear all the conversations. But my RA that year kind of pushed me to apply to be in Res Life. I think that year I applied to be an RA, but they were like, "You just started. What are you talking about?" So they told me to apply to be a desk assistant, and that was kind of the first job experience that led me to my current position. And I didn't think back then that Res Life was actually a place for me. But the reason that was my lollipop moment was because I started off so bad at this school where I was late for moving. I did do the summer program, so I knew people. I had to pay, go to financial aid the first day of school. I missed the trying to unpack and have time and all that good stuff that you do before college starts officially. But it was a great experience all in all. I love my undergrad. And it may not sound like a big deal, but because of that RA, yes, I got introduced to the res life side of things, but she also pushed me to, I was in my shell for a while, but to start opening my shell and going to different programs. Specifically, she would reach out because she knew that I wasn't as social as a lot of first years are now. And she would say, "Hey, I'm hosting this program, or this area is hosting this program. We're going to the dining hall if you want to come." Um, so it meant so much to me. And I don't purposely go looking to give people lollipop moments, but I truly believe in the job that I have, specifically with my first years. I am making a difference, and that is why I stay where I am, because it is so hard. It is hard. And sometimes I do question, is this for me? God, where do you want me to be? What should I be doing right now? And then I get a resident coming in and they're telling me their whole life story. And I have to keep reminding them I am not a therapist, I'm not licensed, I'm not a psychologist, but for some reason they trust me and they feel comfortable with me. So that's kind of been my motivation to keep going this year, especially this year, because it seems like every time I get a step closer to, okay, this is why I'm here. There are 5 reasons pushing me back of, are you sure this is what's for you? Are you trying to stay at the current place, or do you want to move? Or if I move, where do I move? How do I figure out where I move? Because definitely did not expect Rhode Island to be my home for the past almost 3 years, but I love it. I love the people that I've met. Um, my sisters, all of my little babies, they make me cry. They know it and they make me cry in a good way. Just seeing their journey, and I don't know how we're in November, but I also don't know how we're only in the first semester. Seeing their journeys, it's just been amazing. I honestly had a what was this, Saturday, maybe yesterday, and I had a old resident from my first year when I was a grad come up to me in Starbucks that I have not seen in forever, and she remembered me, and she's like, "Oh, I'm graduating." I said, "What? How are you graduating?" So it's been amazing sharing Champion, because sometimes it's not clear to everyone knowing that you're a beast at your job. You may have 5 things that you've done so far and there's still 20 on your plate, but you knocked out 5 things. Part of my job, and some days I really leave the office and I leave when I shouldn't leave, in the sense of I should be gone at a certain time and I'm still there way past that time. That's because I love my babies. But sometimes I'll leave my office and I'm like, what did I get done today? And then I have to reflect on the day and I'm like, well, I didn't get anything off my to-do list done, but I talked to 5 residents that I didn't expect to stop by, but they were able to get resources personally from me, get things off their chest. I love reminding them that they're not alone. And that is the whole point of Champion. You are not alone. And that was a lot. That was so much to say, so little words. But I'm going to keep repeating it. And you should keep repeating it. You're awesome. You have blown away minds, and you don't even know it yet. The dreams that you have are going to be realities, but you have to put in the work and you have to keep dreaming. And I say that in the sense of I'm a planner. If you know, I undergrad degree in sports management with a concentration in public relations. And ultimately, I wanted to be a sports event planner. Still want to be a sports event planner. I love that as a career for me. I love planning. But sometimes it's the executing parts that are not always the easiest. But if I said, okay, I am going to write down that, are you going to show? There you go. Write down that dream of mine and just push it off to the side, that helps no one. But if I, in a sense, keep dreaming as adding more concepts to this idea, or start figuring out who is it that I truly want to be a part of this plan, the networking side or the contacts, we have to keep dreaming and keep believing in our dreams, because the worst thing in the world, not the worst thing, but one of the worst things in the world, is feeling as though you have completed a task, you satisfied whatever it is that you wanted to complete or accomplish, sharing that information and having somebody rip it up in your face. And that could be literal or metaphorically, but ripping it up in your face in the sense of telling you that it's garbage, telling you that it doesn't make sense, um, asking you why are you even trying to make that a thing when it is a thing, or who's going to use that. That is not helpful feedback. That is not critical feedback. It's it's mean. It's hard. But everybody again grows up in their own grew up differently. So sometimes it is asking you before you even share your information or your announcement. This is what I have. I'm not looking for feedback. I just want to get questions that might come up that I can see, or I can show that I already thought about this, or um, even the sense of I just want someone to listen or read over this. I don't want your input on the actual idea. Sometimes we just have to make that known beforehand, but we all need that support system. We all need that group of people in our corner, because it's easy to say, "Oh, I'm going to do it on my own. I got this," or "I will do it and I'll fill you in." That is me all the time. I'm not going to lie. I try to delegate, I, like sprinkle it here and there. Does not work out the way. So I'm like, I'll just do it myself. It's fine. It's cool. You sit back. I got this. But that makes it harder on people like me, where now you are adding to your list, or you are revising or revamping what was already done because you tried the delegating and it wasn't working out the way you wanted it. But that's where you have to, and as always, it's so much easier said than done. But that's when you have to let it, what do you want out of this? Or give clear instructions. I am horrible when it comes to instructions. Of course, I have my little handy dandy personal notebook, and I think I showed the last time we were on. I have a identical one that's pink specifically for work. I have to write down everything. Sometimes I'm going back to the book pages and weeks from previous, but knowing that it's all in one place is so helpful. If I am delegating and I am getting information from um, my staff meeting, I'll write it down and I'll put it under the information that I need to share in my team meeting with more information, because I know my team and they ask questions all the time. They love asking questions. So it's not always ideal, but in our changing world, we kind of have to see things through the lenses of the other person. It's very rare that you'll find something that's cookie cut and it can be used for multiple different things, or even the same thing in multiple different settings. Um, and I'll use this as an example. I have a little cousin who we gave him a nickname, and he's not that much younger than I am, but I've known him as that nickname for so many years. He gets to high school, uh his voice gets deeper, and he wants to start going by his legal name. Perfectly fine. However, I know you as the nickname that I've been calling you for years. Gotta give me some time to find that adjustment. Yes, I have adjusted because this was uh right before COVID, I think. Maybe 2 years before COVID. And with that, you know, we sometimes get mad at people who are, I'll just say, in different generations. That'll be the way we say it, from different generations. And we don't understand why they don't understand what we're trying to say. I think I'm a Gen Z, but there's so much as far as my generation that I don't understand, but I'll understand older generations. So things have changed, and depending on your generation, you have seen the change, you've lived through the change. I'm on a iPhone and a laptop right now. An example of a change. I miss my flip phone. My flip phone didn't talk to me, and it did not do butt dials, which I don't have a problem with anymore, but when I was in middle school, I definitely did. Um and then the flip phone, you don't have to worry about, and maybe it did and I didn't think anything of it, your phone listening to you. I mean, granted, I'm not really going on the internet on my flip phone. I think I did every now and then, but you weren't saying something. Hmm, sorry. You weren't saying something either on the phone with somebody else or in person with somebody else, and then 2 minutes later it pops up on everything. So I miss my flip phone. But I understand that times are changing. Technology is changing. Oof, this AI came from nowhere. I guess it came from somewhere, but I wasn't ready for it. That's all I'm gonna say. But as things are changing, and this could be a sadly for some people, or even just a don't forget, we kind of have to change with it, as you don't want to be left behind. We have to continue this fight together. And that was a lot. That was a lot in the past 27 ish minutes. So we have about 2 minutes left for today's show. That I am very excited that I got to speak with you all today. If you are watching this in a replay or even live, just wherever you're watching this, whatever platform, how are you taking care of yourself this week? But also, how are you reminding others to take care of themselves? So, most of you know what I do for a living. Again, um, not a job that I thought existed, which is weird because at my school we did have sorry, this daylight savings is really getting at me. But at my school we did have housing team members. So I never really put two and two together, like, oh, that is a real job and maybe I should look into that. I said, oh, I'm going to be grad and then I'm going to find a athletic arena to work at so I can get my foot in the door. Did not happen, but it's still going to happen. Eventually. It's in the works. It's in the uh planning book. There you go. But one thing that I am gonna start doing eventually, I don't know when this is gonna happen. I have to start doing staycations because I have so much work to do in the next, let's say, 10 weeks, um to get my master's in the works. However, being a live-in employee is not always the best thing when you're a person like me who is a nonstop helper. I literally, today's Sunday, I walked into my building and they were like, "Hey, I need to talk to you." I said, "Is it a work thing?" They were like, "No, but I do need to get on your calendar." So I said, "Okay, let's look at the calendar. Add yourself to my calendar." And then we were just talking, um, non, some work related things sprinkled in, but non work related for about 2 hours. And I was supposed to take a nap today, and I did not. That is kind of why I am on a emotional high right now, um, because I have not slept in. I'm not gonna tell you how long, because I'm gonna have some very upset people, in the chat. But put in the chat how you're taking care of yourself this week and how are you reminding others to take care of themselves. I can't wait to start my staycations. I have to figure out where and what I'm going to do. How am I going to make sure I'm kind of in my own little bubble where I don't get sprinkled in to work things over the weekend when I shouldn't be. Um, but that is my goal for the upcoming week. I have a jar where I'm putting in different foods, activities. That way I cannot get in my head of, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do, so I'm going to not do anything, because it's happened. And it's the holidays, so all the new Christmas movies are coming out, and I'm very excited. And now I can't say, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to not do anything, because this is the time to do things, not just sit. I love to just lay in my little cocoon, but there's so much world out there, so many people that we haven't met yet. We got to take advantage of it and just continue to pray and keep each other in mind, as we get through the week. And we join back next Sunday, which is going to be November 17th. Um, so absolutely, we don't know what someone else is going through. We don't know how someone else is feeling after this very, very fun week. So reach out. This is not the time to hold things in. Let it out. All right. This was Champion with Queen Jaya Lynn, and I hope you had a great show. I really enjoyed the time to share. And if you have anything specific that you think would be very helpful, or if you want to speak and share your testimony or your stories, let me know, because although it's 30 minutes of encouragement, a lot can happen in those 30 minutes. Thank you so much, and I will see you next week.